Gravel roads are always moving. They're not like paved roads. They're always moving. Rocks will show, mud will come up, gravel disappears from plowing snow or dust or weather.
Not a bad office you've got out here.
Oh yeah, to be able to look at the elk and deer and bears, and where else can you get paid to have this kind of fun to play on the road?
I like riding the roads in Pueblo County. I mean, first, they're my backyard. So it's my community that I get to experience. And they're gorgeous and varied. From my house, I can ride through like 4 different biomes. I mean, I'm in the high desert over there, and then I'll be over here where it's like these lush, low meadows, and then I can be all the way up in the Alpine.
Great gravel roads don't just happen, they have to be built and maintained by professionals. And today we are out here in Pueblo County, the roads of Grassroots Gravel with Mr. Grassroots Gravel, Adam Davidson, and Bryan Boyer, a 39-year veteran of the roadworks here in Pueblo County, who's going to walk us through how these roads come to be.
It all has to be wet first, especially for the mag chloride, the chemical, is where we really need the moisture, because the salt is drawn into the moisture. We'll cut it deep and lay it across and then bring it back, and essentially all we're doing is fluffing it. Okay. So we have to have it,
this is a heavy-duty fluffer here.
Yeah, well, it has to be soft so that the chemical can absorb down inside.
Okay.
If you don't have it soft and it doesn't penetrate, then it won't last. It'll just, the first heavy rains will wash off.
Okay, so walk us through the process. You wet it.
Wet it.
Scrape it.
Cut it. We're basically cutting down probably 3 to 4 inches, cutting it.
Yep.
And then they'll spray it some more so that you have more water. It has to be really moist underneath.
Yeah.
And then we'll cut and we'll lay that back over top and get our crown, basically 5%, light shot of water on top, and then the chemical trucks will come through with the mag chloride and spray on top of that. And it's 5% is what we shoot for on each side.
And that's to get water running off.
That serves 2 purposes.
Okay.
That provides adequate drainage for the rain.
Yes.
Any moisture you have, won't pothole.
Yeah.
You know, the water won't lay in pothole. Plus, it keeps traffic on one side. It basically will stay off that imaginary center line if you have that on there. It basically keeps the traffic on their proper side.
Magnesium chloride. As a cyclist, I love it because it keeps the dust down, and it often makes for a very smooth surface. When it's dry. Like when it goes down fresh, it's not the nicest thing to ride a bike through.
No, it gets slimy, and after a rainstorm, people do not like it after a rain because it's salt. Sure. It's basically salt water. And I think they used to pull it right out of the Great Salt Lake. They have big dry beds, evaporation beds, where they have the salt water setting out, and then the water evaporates, and then the concentration. They have to wait until the concentration gets down to a certain percent, and that is when they pull it out, and then they'll add a little chemical to it, anti-rust chemical and stuff, and then that's what we use here. Yes,
I was saying, it's not just salt water, because it's like almost like an oily, kind of stinky.
And that's the salty. It's super salty.
Okay.
And that's the salt is what attracts the moisture from the air.
Not everywhere uses mag chloride, though.
No.
So how do counties or states determine when magnesium chloride is used, and
it's basic off of traffic count.
Okay.
If there's a certain traffic count, the government requires the dust treatment so that you don't have environmental dust.
Okay.
Is the main purpose of it, the main draw.
And then when do you put down, when do you truck in additional gravel to lay down on the surface?
Well, once it's mag chloride, magged we call it.
Yeah.
Once that's done, we don't put anything on it.
Right.
Because you can't add anything fresh or anything, it'll dilute it, and it won't hold its stabilization.
Okay. I guess this answer is, it depends, but I still want to ask the question, which is how long does a treatment last on a road? A lot of it depends on traffic and weather and how many times you have to blade it. Like I say, the more times you have to grade it, the less it doesn't last as long. Sure. So, but it'll be basically all year. I mean, it degrades pretty good over the winter between the snowfall and plowing snow, and then that's why here in the springtime, it'll need to be applicated again. What do you enjoy about the job, and what are some of the hard parts about this job? Oh, I think the best part is just the variety of places you go, and the roads, from being able to turn a road that's fallen apart into a nice travelable road. Yeah. And to be able to get out on my own time, your own vehicle, you drive on the roads occasionally. Sure. And to see what you've done. Sure. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, yeah. Well, we certainly very much appreciate all the work you do out here. Tell us a bit about the machine here, if you would. Well, there's the angle,
And then the pitch is also very important on that.
Yes.
And we run stinger bits for this dust treatment, and a lot of hard pack roads will run, it's like a comb, the stinger bits, and they have to be at a basic certain angle, not 90 degrees, a little shy of 90, and that's their optimal cutting area. And that it just digs in and cuts and mixes so much better.
Yeah.
And that's what it's for. These are called antlers. We call them antlers. A lot of the new machines, they have toggles. They don't have a steering wheel, and everything is all controlled off of that, and they don't have these levers, but that's a different breed. But the two outside levers are always the main use. That's your right side, left side, up and down. Forward and back is up and down. Everything, all the controls, everything forward, think of when you use it, whatever implement it controls, it either pushes it down or rolls it forward. If you pull it back, it either rolls it back or it comes up.
Yeah.
You can tilt the blade, you can turn the blade. Now, I can't tell you which lever does what. I'd have to look at the pictures because it's all habit. I mean, after you run them, you can't look at the pictures. You have to just...
Right. It's like you're playing a piano, like you're a pianist. Like your fingers just know where to go.
It has to be quick.
Sure.
There's no hesitation. It has to be fast. Caterpillar's my favorite, but everyone likes different machines. They have radios, air conditioner, heat. It's all... The seat moves just like your car. You can do the back, the arch, up and down.
So you're comfortable in it.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Cup holders.
Yeah.
Two-way radio, music radio. Lights galore. This is a slope meter. And the bottom is the percent, 5%. Right now it's setting about 3.5%. And the top is degrees. We really don't use the degrees. This is all the slope, and that's what we keep an eye on.
And that is of the machine or of the blade?
That's of the machine itself, and that is your rear tires.
Sure, and so when you're going to change the gradient with the blade, that is reflected in real time
as to where the tires are sitting, not where the blade is. And then that wherever you're blading, then that follows through in the back. And that's just what you look for. Between looking at that and the mirrors, I think I look at that in the mirrors, what's behind me, more than I do where I'm going forward, because you have to see what's going on, what you've done in the mirror, not to mention traffic. And
how many passes do you have to take to change the gradient substantially?
Usually there's about 4 passes.
Okay.
Because usually if the road is not wide enough, you have your peak essential, the middle. You'll take the first pass and it basically will come up to that, and then the next pass you want to take it beyond, so that when you come back again, you cut that off and then you have your crown, basically essential.
How in the world do you learn to drive and operate such a thing?
Practice. It takes a lot of years, and not everyone can do it. It takes a special person to be able to run all the different levers and maneuvers and to feel the machine. It comes down to feeling what the machine's doing. You can teach someone how to move different angles, but you can't teach them to feel the machine. It takes a special person.
And what sort of level of precision, like in 40 years of driving this, it's easy for me just to see how smooth the road is, but I have no idea how finely you can tune it. Like what sort of...
Well, they have competitions where you can, just basic skills, you can come up and have an egg and crack the egg with a cutting edge and not break it, knock it off, and go on.
Have you done this?
Yes.
Have you won this?
Several times, yes. I've won many years, won trips to Mazatlan and all kinds of things, yes. And there's different maneuvers and skills. Equipment rodeos is what they call them.
Okay.
And they're all over the state.
So there's one where you crack the egg but don't break it with...
Yeah, with a cutting edge.
Okay.
While you're in the cab, you can't hardly even see it. It's all just, you got to know where it is, and that comes from skill. Practice.
Yeah, and so your visuals, like you can see down the road. You've got a mirror, and you can see the blade, but you can't. You
can actually see the cutting edge, and that's where the feel comes from, the skill.
So you're feeling some of the vibration of the blade on the road, and the more vibration, the deeper it is.
Yep, and the feel you can just tell by the drag. It's a skill. It takes a lot of time to get with it. Not everyone can just jump in and do it. You can jump in and make a mess, but it's fun. It's quite an opportunity.
This may sound like a ridiculous question. In gravel cycling, we talk about tires and tire pressure all the time. What size are these tires, and what air pressure do you put in a tire like this?
Those there are about 50 pounds of pressure.
Okay.
It depends. Some operators like them different. They'll get to bouncing. Different tires, different brands have different pressures. They run the best. It's something you have to just kind of play with.
And that will also affect the feel of the whole machine.
Yeah. Most people, when they see you coming, they move out of the way. You're not going to just jump up and move out of the way.
Yeah.
And that's a struggle too, is with traffic.
I was about to ask, like, how do you interact with traffic, and what, as drivers, how should we interact with these vehicles, and as cyclists, how should we interact?
Well,
I mean,
generally,
pay attention to the flaggers, I think, would be step one, right?
Yeah, the flaggers is one. And generally, when you see a machine coming, you can't just pick the machine up and move. And once you're blading, if you have to stop and pick up and move for a cyclist or a vehicle,
it's going to mess it up.
You cannot reset. There will always be a bump right there. It's hard to get that the same thing. So basically, once we're going, we'll stop, but it's best if the public can maneuver around. We generally always leave room so they can get around at some point.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's just kind of a patience game, and we're all out here together. We have to get along together. So.
Yeah. Washboards. I don't like them in the car. I don't like them on the bike. What causes them, and how do we?
A lot of it is speed. What causes that? Vehicles and the speed. Once you get over certain miles an hour, if the slope changes, the washboards will start to create. And hills and corners. If acceleration on corners or hills, that is a basic start. And once you start with one bump, then it progresses. The next car hits that one bump, it makes another bump, and then it just another one, and it progresses on. And then that's our trick to make our rounds and maintain it before it gets too bad.
And it seems like they're often coming into corners where vehicles are braking, where that will crop
acceleration
up.
and braking as well. It's the different momentum of the wheels is what causes it. But speed is a major factor too in a lot of the places. And sometimes the material. If the material over time gets worn down, between weather and dust blowing, if it's not mag chloride and stuff, you end up with sand. Sand doesn't stay stable. You need to add fines with it, and that's where routine maintenance comes along, is trying to mix that back in, because of that sand just will washboard.
You said add fines into it. Is that
basic dirt binder is what we're after, or more gravel that has all the different sizes of material, and that they all lock together, and that's the binder, and that's what keeps it locked in for longer periods of time.
How is that assessment done? Is that the road crews that are going out and assessing it, or is that a different department entirely?
No, it's basically, while we're out there working on it, the operators, we're basically in charge. Every grader operator is basically the boss of where they're at, whether it needs gravel, whether it doesn't. The supervisors, they'll make their rounds and make more determinations as well.
And what is the spectrum of from fines to big rock, like size-wise, that you'll put down?
We basically use, it's called Class 5 and Class 6. And it's basically Class 5 is 3/4 inch or smaller. And Class 6, I believe, is 1/2 inch or smaller. And Pueblo West, because their roads are all flat, they use Class 6 more. And we're up here in the hills. This is Area 4, we call it, Mountain Crew. And all these here, because of the hills and stuff, it requires larger aggregate to to hold better on the hills. And
because the finer it is, the more likely it is to roll off if it's a steeper road.
And it's a good fine trick to keep it smooth enough for bicycles. Because the cyclists come through with narrow tires. If you have bigger rock, that's going to be harder for you.
Well, and that's where as bike nerds we start geeking out about tires and tire widths, and like if it's a nice smooth mag chloride treated road, we'll run often thinner tires, and if it's really rough and really rocky, a bigger thicker tire. But that's all part of the fun. Just like you said, like the roads are always changing. Then for us, that's part of the attraction is getting out into beautiful nature, and it's a different road every time you ride it.
And the farther off the center of the road you get, as traffic goes, they'll throw the aggregate and the rock off to the side, so you have more rocks the closer to the shoulder you get. So
once all the rocks, like say you dump a bunch of rocks in there, through time of traffic, it ends up in the ditches. Do you go back and scrape those rocks back into the center, or how do you?
Every time, Usually every time, it's the four-slope, we call it. You have the main road, you have the crown, the drivable surface, the shoulder, the four-slope, the ditch, and the back slope. Those are the parts of the road. Generally don't touch the back slope. But the four-slope, you always want to pull that maintains the ditch so the water will flow from drainage, proper drainage. But like you say, all the material gets kicked off. We have to pull that back up and mix it all back in when we blade it, and then that all gets mixed back in. Otherwise that gets separated and gets wasted. So.
When I'm riding this stuff, you know, and I come across a section of road, whether it's the way the road was designed or it's like graded to a T, like it is so satisfying to me. Tell me about that from your perspective. Like, what do you geek out about when you're grading specifically?
It's amazing the amount of work it takes to do something like this project here, what it takes. 4 graders, 7 water trucks, the distributors, it's a lot of work it takes to do that. But it's just satisfying to get it done, and then you don't touch it. With a mag chloride it comes out, but you have to have it right the first time. To me it's an art, yeah. And it's, to me, I've always taken pride in it because when I'm done with a road, my name's on that road. So if anything goes wrong, it's me, and if anybody sees it, it's me, and the locals, the people that know me around, you know, they know I'm doing it, and I don't want to be bad with them, you know. Yeah, that's your piece out there, and you signed your name on it. Essentially, yeah, I signed my name on it.
On a bike, yeah, we're on the ground level when we're out there on bikes, and so I mean, you can really feel the difference between not just the substrate of the gravel, but also just like how well finished it is, or if it's just been graded, sometimes it's squishier.
Or if, wow, they didn't do very good on this section, or it's soft, or with your narrow tires, if you hit a soft spot, that's gonna really throw you off, I imagine. Yeah,
I mean, it's like anything, you know, the more you do it, the more practice you have, the more you can compensate. Did you get the compliments that we had shared last year after the event in October? Okay, good. I'm glad that percolated through.
No, we had that. That was pretty impressive.
We're talking dozens of comments that people had to go out of their way to fill out the survey.
Wow, really?
And the quality of the roads was included multiple times.
Well, that's good. Yeah. No, we did get that, and that was what was so impressive. And
good.
We got all kudos from everybody how good we did on them. So. Yeah.
Well, and from us.
I feel, well, I'm kind of a perfectionist. I mean, there's a lot of things I think we could do better, but it's hard to do perfect. I mean, let's face it, it is a dirt road and it's moving all the time in traffic. It's not going to be perfect all the time. So
I'm curious if you have a favorite road to work on in Pueblo. Like assuming, so I understand, I'm a rider that loves technical stuff. Like I love the problem solving of a technical trail or garbage conditions on a gravel road. I mean, I love it all, but I love that as a personal rider. I won't put people through that on our events. But so like I can relate to wanting to make something of a mess. What I'm curious about, like what roads do you like to be on?
I've got 2 favorite that I like. There's one that's called the Bartlett Trail or this Old San Isabel Road, because they have so many corners and it changes the slopes all the time, and it's just different everywhere. And that's the challenging part of it. If you get on, say, the Burnt Mill, they're all wide open and straight. It gets boring. It's just the same. It's kind of a monotone, and it's not a challenge. And I like these other ones that are more challenging.
You know, we're gonna have hundreds of riders coming through here, and like you're one of the artists that make this a reality. You know, like what would you want to say to folks that are coming out to ride these roads, whether it's in October at Grassroots Gravel or just to come do the thing?
Yeah. Biggest part is keep in mind what's around the next corner. There might be traffic coming. Watch for traffic, but ride not in center of road, but that's going to be the least amount of loose gravel. The farther to the shoulder you get, the more looser it's going to get. So that's more of a hazard. So try and stay towards the middle, but always keep in mind of traffic coming, because there's a lot of people that come out. Old San Isabel is one of the serious ones to where they come out for the evening and then ride during the day just to see what's going on, see where bears and elk and all that, and they're not paying attention. They will be in the middle of the road or in your lane, so keep that in mind.
The roads themselves are so varied. Like there's a bunch of stuff that's just very straightforward and very mellow and rolling, and then we've got like proper mountain roads that are narrow and curvy, and yeah, there's a little bit of everything, and I like getting out of Dodge and mixing it up. So that's why I love it.
Yeah, getting out of Dodge and mix it up. I think that's what draws so many of us to ride bikes in places we've never been before. If variety is the spice of life, it's the topography and the new places and even the road surface. And you know, as Bryan was talking about, the road is never the same twice, and that you can take that literally and metaphorically, as far as like the surface is different, and every time you go through, you're a different person. And That's one of the things I love about riding gravel bikes.
And it is for everyone. You know, like we're gonna have folks racing. Folks are gonna be out there on gravel, getting after it super hardcore, and then you can also just be out on whatever bike cruising around, and that's something that I just love. I love about gravel, period. As far as a way to experience the world on a bike.
Give us an overview of the courses on tap at Grassroots Gravel for 2025.
Grassroots Gravel 2025. Okay, we've got 4 different courses, but it's more like 4.5 different courses because we've got our 19-mile non-competitive, we call it the mild. And this year it's 19 miles. It was 15 last year because it turned around at Aid 1 and folks would head back into town on the gravel. This year folks can hit Aid 1 and then go through part of Lake Pueblo State Park and come back into town on some very mellow double track roads right next to the Arkansas River. And then roll along the river all the way into town. So it's a little longer, but it's downstream, so they're rolling downhill. So that's that one.
Getting a taste of gravel.
Exactly.
Not overdosing on gravel.
Yeah, small sampler for folks that are seeking fewer miles. And then we've got a 39 mile that heads out past everything. They all start up the same road. We've got a 75 that'll bring folks all the way up into the Beulah Valley. They'll get that scent of Ponderosa. And then a 112 roughly mile big loop, and that is the full sampler. And new this year for that, on 12 mile, which is the big climb, roughly 3,000 feet and 11.5 miles, we're gonna have segment-specific podiums just for that climb, where folks can win coffee from Solar Roast Coffee or cash from them. And that's just because that hill is gorgeous and brutal, and we wanted folks to celebrate. We wanted to celebrate the folks that were riding that. I mean, everyone that's riding that might win something, but we wanted to see how hard folks would push it on that big old hill.
Speaking of hard and beautiful, this is a fantastic stretch of road here that the gents are working on today.
Yes.
Where does this figure into the long course?
We are standing along Old San Isabel Road. So 12 mile is the flip side to this thing. So 12 miles, this big climb. It's a wider gravel road flanked by ponderosa pines, you know, on either side of it. This thing, Old San Isabel, it's narrower, very curvaceous descent after that. So folks will be climbing up 12 mile, you know, they will have just hit an aid station there, huge climb. Then they're going to descend this thing and then get the next aid station right after that. So this is kind of a dessert.
So come and sample the delicious dessert that is Old San Isabel, just groomed to perfection by Bryan and his crew. Grassroots Gravel is October 11th this year with the party starting the day before. Come on out. Hope to see you here.